And we're not going to waste any time, we're going straight into a then and now almost. It involves the grey building down there, the TRC Roundel Club. Just zoom in on it. That's where we're going down there, but I want you to remember the top of that and what the side of it looks like. Right, well, back in the day, this is hard to line up because they're all at different levels now and there's a lot of stuff in the way. But I'm just lining up the very edge of the Roundel Club there. And letting you know that there used to be a couple of stores, then a Lane's Florist, and then a corner shop called W.H. Hayman right there, which of course got demolished when they built this road. But here's how it looked back then. And here's how it looked when it got demolished originally. So it certainly looks a little bit different at that end of Station Road before they built this road, and of course Lidl's. Anyway, let's get on. Colin in Canada sent me a shot of the Riviera Cinema, as was yesterday, and at first glance I said, oh, thank you very much, but I got that one already. And then when I opened it up on the big screen, it was a much clearer shot. So here's the Riviera Cinema, pre-1969, showing the old hut that used to be outside at the front, and the snack bar, which is next to Phyllis's barber shop, and the casino slots isn't there, so it's not the purple penny, which is what it was in around 1970, so that dates it slightly to before 69. And you'll see on the top that only the frontage of the building has been built, so the Riviera apartments aren't there. There's just the front glass part, which I believe Colin said used to be a restaurant. Anyway, let's compare the two. Well, it certainly looks a little different, doesn't it? Proper trip through time, that one. So much the same, but so much has changed. Right, now I can't exactly line this one up 100% because it's sort of, the point of view is from on the cliffs, or in the cliffs really. But what we're looking at now is from Colin in Canada. Sent me this the other night. It's not the signal box again, it's an etching from 1853 of when the sea wall was damaged and how they were repairing it. Anyway, here you go. So that would have been this stretch of wall here, just in front of the tunnel. Marvellous. Thanks, Colin. Remember we did the end of the Roundel Club, what used to be there, etc, etc, how it was demolished. We're going to do the other one now, where it says Udi's, just down there. That was the other side of Station Road. Any ideas what used to be there? Let's go and look. It was just here, on the end of where Udi's is now, carrying on along the terrace, was the Railway Hotel. Here we go. Now again, that was demolished in my lifetime, because I remember as a small child coming down and walking past that enormous high white picketed fence which you see in the bottom left of the photo. Obviously I was very small at the time, so it was in my lifetime, but that was demolished along with everything else for this road. Okay, so you're going to have to take me on faith a little bit here. But we're going to quickly flash back to the photo I showed you yesterday of when the buildings at this side of Station Road were demolished. And I want you to notice in the background where Lidl's is now, there's a single sort of white building standing. Anyway, here we go. Well, that building would have been around here at the back, roughly where the toilets are now. Not that that in itself is very interesting, however, here's a picture taken from roughly this angle of old Brook Street, years and years ago. Here you go. Now again, you just got to take my word for me on that, that is here, or was here, but that was what was here many, many moons ago. Old Lower Brook Street. Get a shot of that building, majestic, holidays, but we've got that van right in front of it, so I'll probably come back later to see if it's moved. Actually, I can probably get what I wanted from here. That building there, majestic, used to be the old boxing club. Don't believe me? Here you go. So it was in there, the old boxing club. We used to go down the alleyway at the side and go in a door down there. Remember that? Right, going to try for a very, very early then and now. You can see the top of the cinema over there. All these buildings block the view further down of the Royal Hotel and the Den. You can see the Bay Hotel and the start of Powderham Terrace up there in the distance. Then of course you've got the Pier blocking the Ness. But what about if I showed you a shot before the pier was built, before this was a raised area, and you could just make out how it used to be. Here we go. There we go for reference, there's the cinema, there's the old Royal Hotel, there's Powderham Terrace, and of course there's the Ness and the Lighthouse. But you can tell it was taken from further back than this, meaning the pier wasn't here, because of the location of the cinema. Okay, so as we know, there used to be a little Peter Pan railway up here in this gravel bit. And I've shown a shot of it before, which I'll show you now. But I've found another view of the station part, which would have been about there, taken from a different angle. Let's go around and shoot it. But we don't normally ever see the station side of it. So I managed to get hold of a picture, and the station would have been there. So let's cut to the old photo and see it. There we go. So that would have been the little station to the Peter Pan railway that filled this section here that's all gravel. Just went round in a little zigzag. But that was that part of it. Now I saw Nick arrive yesterday, my friend, and he got into a taxi outside the station. It made me think, how long the taxi's been outside the station? So here we are, 1920s. Here's the taxis outside the station. Yay! As you can see, that's Myrtle Hill in the background. That house there is a house on the corner. Those houses are the same. As I don't have the photo to hand, there may be a house missing there because the two lower houses got hit in the war by bombs. But that's where that was, and that's the context to it now with the station and Lidl's, which I'm just heading off to there. Anyway, that was it. Taxis at the station in the 1920s. Yay! Now keep in mind the windows above Apothecary, and Grills, and the shop next to it, Fountain Health. because the next photo we look at is going to be taken from one of those windows many years ago. Okay, so obviously I can't get up to get the same angle, but you can see in front of me brunch. Hasn't always been brunch. In my lifetime it's been the Dairymaid mostly, as far as back I can remember, and it always used to have a very brown frontage. Here's a picture of it taken from above as I remember it. Now I can't give you an exact date on that photo, but I'm going to suggest it was around, even though it looks sunny, it was around New Year because of all the foam in the fountain, which is a traditional Teignmouth thing. When the fountain had water in, people around them would put washing up liquid in it. Possibly that. However, the Dairymaid did in fact have a facelift at some point, and here it is with a facelift. Which is now the station business park. That's what's available. There we are. Of course, it didn't always used to be this. It used to be the goods yard for the station, with tracks coming in by the signal box and coming out again to join on further down, where we showed you the other day with the bricked up wall, which I've just cut to now, I think, so you can see it again. Anyway, with that said, there was these buildings obviously weren't here when I was younger. This was actually a bus station, and it was all unpaved, so to speak, you know what I mean, and rough, and all the buses used to stay here at night. So here's a quick shot of how I remember it back in the day. Well, it certainly looks a bit more empty there, doesn't it? But you can sort of see just above the thing of some of the houses still remain. Like that one that was directly behind, you can't really see it because of the manor garage. But there it is around the corner, that little bungalow with the pointed thing, pointed roof. And it was all the way around like this, except for over there in the corner where it was a raised area for some reason, where we used to ride around on motorbikes and jump off the raised area. But I mean, it was a perfectly good place to do it. Why not? It wasn't like there was anything else here or any reason for us not to do it. Now over there, where you see that lintel, that's where the track used to go round, and go round in a sort of a semicircular shape and join onto the main tracks parallel with it, which is the other side of the wall that was bricked up we showed you earlier on. Now on this side, that's the old signal box, and as you can imagine, you can almost place it now. There used to be a track that came right through ahead of us, came off the main line. I don't really have any picture of that per se, but I think I do have one, which if I do I'll put in now, of the tracks taken from that bridge where it shows the third one. It's all those taken in the opposite direction, but it will give you an idea of what we're talking about. So that's basically the back of the station, where the lines used to be. All gone now, of course. But that's how it used to be. If this is going to work or not, I don't have the reference picture, but we're looking at that warehouse again ahead of us. And if this lines up, I'll use it. Fancy another quick then and now? Yeah, why not, eh? Right, I can't get exactly in the position because I can't levitate up in the air, but you'll be able to work this out easy enough, no problem. You know, you've got the play park there, beachcomber, den, etc., pier up there, blah blah blah, all that area. Used to be tennis courts, we know that, but before it was tennis courts, it used to be croquet lawns. Here we go, have a look. Teignmouth before cars, eh? What a thought. What a thought. Go, loads of people down on the seawall at the moment, looking through Skew Bridge. Ever wondered what it was like to see Skew Bridge being built? Here we go, Skew Bridge being built. Oh well, there we go. That was Skew Bridge being built. Back when they put the cutting through, got rid of all the cliff so they could put the tracks in. Anyway, let's get down the seawall, see if I can still walk along with all those people down there. Okay, so really we're looking at that cliff. The cliff that goes up with a little tuft of growth on it. And here we go. Well, there we go. That was Sprey Point area here when it had the tea room gardens, etc. many years ago. If I've got an exact date, I'll add it to the photo. But let's carry on. Yay! So I did a photo the other day of the old station location, which was just up here, and it proved quite popular. However, it wasn't a very good quality picture I used. I've since sourced a much better quality image, which I'm going to show you in a second, and also link to, so you can look at it yourself in personal detail in the comments below or in the description below. Anyway, here's a better quality picture of where Teignmouth Station used to be before Skew Bridge. Okay, so check out the picture in the link and you can zoom in on it and everything. I don't know what that big white thing is there, like a speaker or something, or a tannoy. No idea. Any ideas? Pop them in the comments.